Hey guys, my name is Kendrick and welcome to ENFP Mail. Today I get to interview Klaus Scheppers. Did I say your last name correctly?
Roughly, yes.
What's the right way to say it?
Yeah, I mean, there are two ways to say it, like a German way and the English way. And yeah, it's always, so in German it's Schepers, but yeah,
Shapers.
it doesn't matter too much to me.
Also, the English people would pronounce it the way I pronounced it.
Yeah, they would say well, I've heard different things, Skeppers or Sheepers,
Yeah.
Shepherd, like the sheep guy. Yeah.
Where in Germany are you right now?
At the moment, I'm in a beautiful city called Heidelberg,
Okay.
which is, yeah, it's quite, well, reasonably famous. Yeah, there's a nice castle here and yeah, lots of Asian tourist groups. Um,
Taking
yes,
selfies.
yes, actually, yeah. And lots of buses. Yes,
Yeah, with their damn sticks.
yes.
So Klaus, you are an ISTP, but what kind of ISTP are you?
What kind of ISTP am I? I am well, in objective personality land, I'm a classical ISTP, so I would be consume first, T-I-S-E.
Okay.
And I am a mopey ISTP, consume sleep.
Uh-huh.
Yes.
And then can you tell us your full OP?
Yes, so I am MF, masculine sensory, feminine DE,
Yeah.
and then my type is TISE, consume, sleep, play, blast. Blast, last.
All right. So when you got your type back, what did you think and how did you feel like when you got it back from Dave and Chan?
Well, when I heard it, well, it's now almost exactly a year, a bit longer actually. I
Right.
remember it was the last day of May last year, which always already shows my masculine sensory, I
Yeah,
guess,
that's
because I
right.
still remember the date.
Yeah.
Yeah, when I got it, I was shocked, and I guess that's a good sign because you should be a bit humiliated when you get it back. Like they like that fact, I think. If you're
Yeah.
not humiliated, it might not be your real type. So
Okay.
yeah, for me, it's like a slow climbing of a ladder. Like
Yeah.
with every month, I see more and more, and I think I mostly accepted everything now. I still try to just debate it because I love debating with
Yeah.
myself, TI.
Right.
But I accepted it like 93% now. Yeah,
Um,
I mostly accept everything
what
by
would
now.
how did you get into typology? Like, what's your history with typology?
Um, well, it all started in the summer of 2014, and that was after a bad breakup. And I always say, I don't think it's a coincidence that I came across typology. I was like, I don't know, I was completely, uh, you could say, depressed, and somehow in that depressive period, I came across Myers-Briggs, and I did a test, and I got INTJ, and I felt very understood. So this is in MBTI land where I still don't see that ISTP-ness fully, but yeah. So yeah, in summer 2014, um, I came across it, and there it all started for me. I just consumed stuff for a few years then, and in 2017, I started a course with Personality Hacker. That was life changing, I would say, like meeting all these new people who are into typology. And that was like the first 2 years, I just consumed stuff by myself. And then I started properly not only meeting people, but also wanting to apply the knowledge and not only work on myself, but which is always the starting point, I think, but also tell other people about it and just play around with it. Yes.
So since getting your type back from OP and you came out as an ISTP, how did you take that? Because you were an INTJ for a few years and then you became an ISTP. So, you know,
Yeah,
it's
it was a bit, it's like, as an IP, it's an identity thing. So it was
right.
like, it wasn't like that I was shocked that people would now think, oh, he's not the INTJ that society, like there's like a certain, well, society, whatever that may be, thinks intuitives are better, or I don't know, or INTJs are the know-it-alls, the geniuses and stuff. So it wasn't really, I was like shocked in my identity. I wasn't really shocked about what the tribe would think that I'm now a different type.
Right.
And also I think my feminine N helps in just acknowledging that this is, I mean, it's a great theory, but it's also just one theory amongst many. So
right.
not everything matches together. The definitions are different. And well, the problem with MBTI is there are no real definitions. So
right.
there are some.
Horoscope.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's very horoscope-like. So
yes. So yeah, I would say it's a bit better than horoscope, but yeah. I mean, it's a spectrum. You have horoscopes and MBTIs in the middle, and OP goes in the right direction, I think.
Yeah, that makes perfect sense. Yeah.
Yes. So yeah, it wasn't that shocking. I still think like, yeah, I still want to come up with a theory that merges everything, which is probably my feminine and I just, yeah, but I'm also fine with holding them all up at the same time. Like that makes it interesting. Like there's some truth to almost every theory, else no one would talk about it.
Let's talk about your masculine TI first.
Okay.
When you talk to people, do you find yourself like correcting them when you hear something that's logically inconsistent? You know?
Yes, yes, all the time. Most of the time, only in my head. So luckily, I have feminine DE, so the tribe doesn't hate me too much because I hide a lot of this stuff. But sometimes it blurts out. Like I remember at the weekend, we had the barbecue of our table tennis team, and the president was mentioning me for achieving something, and 2 of the 3 facts he mentioned were wrong, and I just blurted out that he was wrong in front of everyone, and it kind of ruined the moment. But I also couldn't. There are some like scenarios where you can't just let it go, because he mentioned that I was finished 7th, and the tournament that wasn't even taking place yet. So I had to correct him because I thought 7th was not good enough. And the tournament happened only the day after. So I had to correct him because I thought, it's not only wrong, but it makes me. And another thing, I forgot the detail now, but I had to, and I noticed, oh, right, now I just blurted it out. But it doesn't happen too often. And it's like finding a balance, because I also noticed I sometimes hide too much of myself. So it's always a question of finding the right balance, and not ignoring wrongness or just letting it loop in my head. That's also not healthy.
When you corrected that person, do you think that's from your masculine TI or that's more your masculine SE? Because the facts are wrong, right? So it sounds like it was more like a masculine SE kind of thing.
Yeah, probably both. Probably, yeah. I don't know what was more, the facts. It might have been more SE than TI. Yeah. I would have to think about the ratio now. Yeah, it's probably both, yes. And they are both masculine. So
right.
Thank God I'm feminine DI, because else I probably would have induced a lot of tribe hate. Although that's also just a fear I make up in my head. As we all know now, it's all just brain chemistry.
Yeah.
But yes. So, yeah.
I want to ask you a question. I want to ask you a question about identity. So, do you take a lot of pride as a German? Because that's your identity, right? That's your nationality. Do you really like take that to heart? Like, I'm German and these are my qualities, or do you completely disagree with that because that's more of a tribe thing? Like being German is your tribe. Like do you see yourself as Klaus, and Klaus is like this kind of person versus like I'm a German, and
okay. So if I understood the question correctly, you could say, what's my identity?
Yeah. Like what?
So I would say I have many identities, I would say, which can be seen in the Facebook group. I think like I'm talking to myself a lot. I don't feel myself as German because I lived abroad for quite a few years. I see myself mostly as European, like European culture. I'm not proud of being German, but I'm proud of being European. So
okay.
Yes, I would say that, yes.
And where did you live abroad?
The UK and Australia.
Okay, I see. So you're very much immersed in the English culture also.
Yes, yes, yes. And I consume most of the stuff I consume is in English, and lots of US shows and consume first. Yes, so
Yeah, that makes
yeah,
sense.
yes.
Okay.
Also in Germany again. Now that I'm back for a bit, I also follow that closely again. So
But the
yeah,
movies in Germany, they're dubbed in German, right? Like even like let's say Avengers or like the famous.
yeah. Luckily, I am not into Hollywood stuff. I
Oh, I
mean,
see.
the worst word. I'm more into art house cinema, and there are quite even in this tinier town of 100,000 people. There are two cinemas that show original movies in the original language. So I'm lucky.
Oh, I
Uh,
see.
Once a fortnight, I go watch a movie, and it has to be OMU. It's in German, so just with the titles. So in the original language with German subs.
Subtitles.
Yeah,
Subtitles. Yeah.
and I go crazy if it's like synchronized with the voices. I immediately hear it and it makes me crazy. It sounds so artificial.
Yeah, it's awkward. Uh,
And then it's better like having the original and just read if you can't understand it.
so since we're talking about consuming, you have masculine consume. So what's that like?
Oh, it's very intense. Like there are days like today. The last 3 days I did a lot of stuff. So today I just consumed like almost all day because I'm lagging behind. I don't know, but I have to read a lot of things because I missed 3 days I didn't consume much in the last 3 days, which is a long period for me. So yeah, I watched a lot of YouTube stuff. I read a lot of blogs, lots of Facebook, and yeah, the word savior fits very well because that's really my savior, and I feel like I recharged now. It's like restorative and also intense because I don't even take breaks because it feels so good.
Wow, that's amazing.
Yes,
I think
so
that's the best
yeah,
description of masculine consume I've ever heard. That double masculine consume.
yeah.
Um, what about your sleep? Can you talk about your sleep?
My sleep energy or my sleep patterns,
Your,
or
your
you mean my
sleep,
sleep animal?
everything. Your sleep animals,
Okay.
sleep patterns, everything about sleep. Let's hear it.
I need lots of sleep. Like if I get less than 8 hours, 2 days in a row, I go crazy. And I think on average, I get 8.5 to 9 hours.
Wow, I'm
It's
jealous.
really a savior. Um, yes, and I work at the moment. I work night shifts, so I start the day at 10:30 p.m.
Wow.
So I'm going against society. I'm just doing what I want, and it was always like that. Like in jobs I had before, I would start at 2 p.m. and yeah, I'm a night owl. I need like the quiet of the night.
Yeah.
Uh, and it's great to work at night because not that much is happening. So, yes, sleep really is a savior for me. And yeah, my sleep animal is consists of Ti and Ni. And I'm before I knew my type, that's probably why I thought INTJ because I think I over-identified with my NT sleep.
Yeah. Right. Right.
And
That
yeah,
makes sense.
because the first animal is even less, I think, yeah, it's not as conscious. I think we just do it all the time. And only in the comparison, I realized, yeah, my consume is really crazily um, intense, like I just described. And on a spectrum, double masculine consume,
Yeah.
introvert, there's probably not many people that consume more stuff than I do, which I don't mean in a good or bad way. It's just, yeah, it's just how it is.
Now, because you have consume and sleep as your first two savior animals, they say that people who are mopes tend to get into looping traps, so you get stuck in your own world. Like, can you talk about scenarios when that happened to you, where you got completely stuck in the internal world?
Yeah, all my life. All my life. I mean, there are always like how do you say oasis of interaction with the tribe, or can you say that? Yeah, I don't know. There's like
That's a
brief
good description.
period.
That's good.
There's some brief periods. Well, they get longer and longer now, especially that I'm aware of it and make more time for blast and play. But yet, when I was studying, I was well. Luckily, I had to go to university every day, which I well didn't do, but well often enough to be connected to the tribe in some form. But yeah, I was. I mean, one of my services that I started was named Alien Typology, because I always felt a bit like an alien in this world. And that's also what I think made me think I'm intuitive, because in this personality hacker system, one data point that points towards people being intuitives is feeling a bit like an alien in the world. I don't know if you resonate with that as an intuitive. Yeah, might be a bit less so because you're extroverted. But yeah, so I always felt this tribe, the disconnect to the tribe. And well, the great thing is now with typology, I found, well, one of the mini tribes I really like now, and I feel like I belong to, is typology. It's like objective personality. The Facebook group is like personality hacker. It's like small other tribes that have nothing to do with typology. So I'm like using my TI interests and what I find meaningful, and just join these mini tribes instead of joining the full German tribe, for example.
Right. That makes perfect sense, because it's more customized to you, right? It's not like,
Yes.
you know, like I think the German tribe would be more like an EJ thing, you know, like if you were an EJ, you would be extremely.
Yeah, or I see Germany as an, well, you can't type a whole country, but I would say ISTJ. Maybe ESTJ could also. It's very, everything is efficient. And I noticed my OE savior, it's not a coincidence that I had to flee. I really like it now because I was away for 5 years. So, and I'm only back like for a year now. Is it a year already? Yes. So I still enjoy it, but I think in 1 or 2 years I have to go again and do something different and leave Germany again.
Now, is that because you have Savior SE and that means you crave freedom over
Yes.
control? Would you say that
Yes.
that's where it's coming from?
Yes, yeah, German bureaucracy. I mean, you can see it. I mean, OP is one of the things that had helped me realize that everything has a good and a bad side. Like this efficiency is also good in some sense, because when I came back from traveling the world for a year, everything was efficient. It was really easy to just get back into the system, and everything was efficient. But yeah, I don't know. It's also high taxes, and that's one thing I think of. Yeah, I have to think about more what other things. But there's also like an over focus on order that has negative sides. It's all, everything, every positive has a negative, and vice versa, I think. So yeah, but I've learned to appreciate both sides of that.
Isn't Germany very individualistic as well? So wouldn't you say Germany is an IJIP kind of culture?
Good question. I would need, can I hand in an essay tomorrow?
Yeah.
Let me think. The question would be IJIP or IJEJ? Yeah, it's individualistic. Yes, yeah. I mean, it depends on what you compare it to. Like if you compare it, for example, to Southern Europe, there's much stronger family bonds. So in Germany, yes, Germany in that sense is very individualistic. Almost every person has lots of hobbies, and yeah, I think people are rather different from each other.
Right.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, like a regular Western world country, I would say. Yes.
Yeah.
And it depends on what you compare it to.
IJIP.
Yes. Yeah. Yes.
Because the US is more like, I guess, I don't know, EPEJ, I guess. Like
ESTP, I would say. Like, but yeah, typing countries is probably it's hard. But the US is more about freedom than Germany, for sure.
Yeah.
And in terms of
that's what they always preach, right? Like democracy, freedom, right? So it's like
yes,
very EP, but it's very nationalistic too, right? Like when you go to the US, they have like an American flag in every corner, right? And
yes, that you would not. I mean, yeah, you wouldn't see that much here. I mean, the only 4 weeks every 4 years or every 2 years when there's a soccer tournament, or you say soccer in the US, right?
Yeah, soccer. Yeah, not football.
then you see some flags, but it's still like history-wise, Germans are not really overly proud of being German, which is understandable given the history.
Right.
Apart from every 2 years when there's soccer on, or handball even. I don't know if you even know that sport. Germans love it. But apart from that, Germans are not overly proud. Some are even still ashamed So that's why I think many Germans say they prefer, like I said, I don't know why, but I prefer calling myself European. I don't think it's because of that, but yeah, who knows about the unconscious.
Well, that's I think that's just your personal preference, you know, as an IP.
Yeah. Yes.
Let's talk about your NI. So your NI is a demon, but you said you use it quite a bit. So how does that work for you?
How do I use my NI? Yeah, I think I liked when Dave and Shannon described it as like NI. I don't know if they said this explicitly, but NI and double observers is more efficient because it can be used better because there's like an interplay with SE all the time.
Right.
Because SE and NI are so close, it can work better than in an NI dominant. So I think SE and NI are constantly pinging off each other. I don't know how, because it's not an animal, like SE and NI creates this animal, but there's like a strong connection. I noticed it when I recorded, did I talk about that? I recorded my first typing analysis video this week. And yeah, I feel like an obligation to give as much evidence as possible to why I came up with a type. And I noticed, yeah, they work in harmony. I just present like 40 data points and then everything merges into this NI I don't know the word, but yeah, everything is merged at the end to a type, and we'll see.
Yeah, so
how good my first typing is. But yeah, it feels like a close connection with SE. SE grabs everything, like my double masculine consume grabs everything, and then NI filters everything that's interesting and goes deeper into the interesting stuff, like typology, for example, and just gets rid of everything that makes no sense, although TI is involved there as well.
I feel like having that feminine NI is better than masculine NI, and that masculine SE is better than feminine SE because, you know, you have a big picture idea with your NI, right? But then you're backing it up with solid facts that cannot be moved, right? Which is, I think that's how you should be doing things. Like facts shouldn't be able to move, right? Because otherwise it doesn't make sense. It's not a fact anymore if it's not true, right? So
yeah, I would agree, but that's not surprising given that that's my typing, so that's what I honor, really.
yeah,
I guess again, everything has good and negative sides. Like it would be nice to have like if I had masculine and I to just try and force everything together a bit quicker, like because like this everything is like in the clouds a lot. I think like everything stays possible, and that's what I notice in my life with SE Savior and feminine and I like to keep my options open, and I get bored quickly, although that also has good sides again. So it's always like a zero-sum game, although I don't like that word, but yeah, like I said before already. Yeah.
Let's talk about your FE. So this is your demon. Do you piss people off? You know, like your tribe and whatnot, or are you scared that the tribe's gonna come after you? Like what's
not intentionally, although now also intentionally. I went on a coaching call with Shannon once, and yeah, one of my one of my goals is to be a bit more open and not hide so much. Because of that feminine DE, I don't think, well, you can only ask other people, I guess, but I don't think I have offended many people in my life, which sounds like TI Dom. It sounds like a surprising thing, but because of that feminine DE, I mean, yeah, maybe a few people, but like the cat energy is like, it's really brief and intense. Like, yeah, if my masculine TI is triggered, then good night. But yeah, it's not like, yeah, I don't know how to describe it, but well, I can say FE feels really like a massive demon because, well, it's not activated until my third animal. So yeah, it's a desert.
But you do have play though, so you do have a hobby play, you could say.
Yes, yeah. So that's like something, I guess, what we are doing right now. Yeah, that's yeah. I don't know. It's easier than blasting, although blasting is okay as well. Like I don't know. I thought about that a few days ago. It's like for me, it's not like the last animal that is so much behind everything. It's like there's just the cliff is between the saviors and demons. Like it's consume sleep very high, and then there's a massive cliff, and play and blast are relatively close together.
Yeah.
So close that I struggle to know which is my third animal. But yeah, certainly FE is not activated, and I mean single activated if you look at the first three animals, but it's really hard for me to grasp fully. Or well, I grasp it, but I don't want to acknowledge it really. I don't know. Yeah.
Well, just watching you since the interview started, you definitely have play. I do think blast is your fourth. Like the way you explain everything is very play like. Like you're not lecturing me, you're kind of sharing a story.
Mm.
So
yeah, it's much easier with a good interviewer than to just talk to myself. Yeah. Although I do that all day without even recording.
did you do an interview with Benjamin yet?
Yes.
So
yes,
what's the because you're both the same, right? So like similar, I mean. Like you're both IS.
Yes, yeah, he has play a bit higher, which is always, well, I don't want to give value statements here, but I think play high can be very helpful in an interview. Like now I don't have to worry about the controlling because it's just a natural flow. Like
Yeah.
you are firing good questions, and I don't have to worry about, like, I don't know, that's something I struggle with in real life, in group, especially in group settings. How do I keep conversation going? And here I don't have to worry. And that's also, oh yes, so that's something also to talk about when FE last. FE last means EJ last. I hate telling people what to do. Like,
Yes. Yeah.
I'm really not comfortable in telling people what to do. I'm trying to do that more. It's even like, I struggle even like during a table tennis match, if the door is open, I struggle to tell a guy straight, can you just close that door? That's feminine DE. It's like, I just do it myself because then I don't have to tell him what to do. And yeah, so that's the EJisms that I struggle with. Like, I don't want to give instructions to people.
And
And I mean, it's only consistent because I don't want to get instructions from people either. So
yeah. Well, it's also because you have a double feminine blast also, right? So yes.
Yeah, and that, I mean, now it's okay, I guess, because it's something that interests me, but like small talk or yeah, keeping conversations going, I would just, and I don't know, I think it's a bit awkward, but I don't mind just sitting like in a car and not talking to someone, or even standing next to someone. And I then notice how people feel awkward, and that could be just me also feeling awkward, but yeah, like taking control. Yeah. And then, yeah, NIFE demon. Yeah.
So because you're masculine feminine, are you very auditory then, would you say?
Yes, I love music since forever. Like since I was a little child, I'm listening to music. Yeah, and yeah, I don't know what. Yeah, I love listening to all kinds of things, podcasts and stuff. But that's probably just to consume. But I'm clearly not visual. My sleep is visual, which is interesting with dreams. They are very, very visual.
Yeah.
Like, yes, but yeah, clearly masculine sensory and feminine DE. That's the parts that I got right before. That's, yeah.
Now,
Shesh got it right there.
do you also like kinesthetic stuff? Like, do you like, I don't know, like wrestling people, I guess, or like...
Not wrestling, but I like throwing stuff. Like, I do sometimes in a fun way, and like it's very interesting to see. So, for example, I throw stuff at people. Like, not that sounds bad now.
Yeah, you're insulting people
like,
with stuff.
Balls and just smashing things, like being physical. Like, yeah, and sports also. I love, like, I play table tennis for 25 years now. And yeah, I love smashing balls and competing and winning. But yeah, not wrestling. That's a bit too physical. I guess that's for the double masculines. Well, on average, everyone can do everything.
Right. Well, because I have masculine, feminine like you, but like, ironically, I also played ping pong when I was in high school, and it's probably because I'm Asian though. But like, and no, I love wrestling though. Like when I was a kid, like I watched WWE but WWE now. You know, I used to like wrestle people all the time, you know, and I think that's from like the masculine, feminine, you know, like very comfortable with like.
Yeah, when you say that, I loved doing that with my brother when I was younger. Yes.
Did you watch
Well,
that? Did you watch that like WWF when you were a kid? Like WWE?
no. Well, I didn't know about American culture back then, so I
Oh, I
don't.
see.
Well, I watched. I didn't really watch, but the school I was going to, there was a center for wrestling actually, but not the WWE stuff, but more the classical wrestling that you see at the Olympics.
The real
Yeah,
stuff.
right. A few of my classmates were actually wrestlers. Yes, I always looked at them in awe, and yeah, like, okay, yeah, not me. I thought I wasn't like, yeah, I don't know. I would have to think about that. I wasn't overly physical in that sense when I was younger. It's something that only I got more aware of later. Yeah. Yeah.
Let's talk about you being a double observer. So you have a relative balance between control and chaos, right? Does that mean like you have no trouble locking yourself in, let's say, one job for a given period of time, but at the same time, if you lose a job, it's okay because then you have an opportunity to have another job. So is that what it means? Like
There's a great freedom that comes with that. Yes.
yeah.
So I did the same job, but in different. That lucky thing is that I could do it in different locations, UK and Australia. Else I probably would have quit quicker. So I did that job for almost 5 years.
And what is that job, by the way?
So I worked for a company. We wrote reports on manipulated football and soccer matches.
Okay.
Football and tennis, or
Yeah.
soccer and tennis, or other sports as well. So it was like the perfect Ti-Se combination, I think. Just analyzing data, but also watching sports and finding out if a match is manipulated. You can see that in the data. But that would probably be too much details now. But yeah, I really loved the job. It was the perfect first job for me after graduating. And yeah, it's amazing to me that I really quit that job after 5 years, because at the beginning I thought, wow, I found my perfect job at 25. But yeah, that's not how life works.
Why did you end up quitting if you loved it so much?
So many different reasons. I had this idea of traveling the world.
Yeah.
Which I did then for a year. Also, there were some things going on in the company that I didn't like. Yeah. And I just needed something new, I think. And yeah. But yeah, what you said was interesting. Like, I think it gives me a great freedom in jobs. I see that now. I'm doing just a stupid hotel job to work on my FE. And I'm much freer, because if I get fired for some reason, which I don't think I will, I'm fine. I will find something else. I'm very calm about that, because I know I will find something. I don't know where the confidence is coming from, but it gives me a certain freedom, I think. I notice with my coworkers who sometimes think, oh, how can you do that? How can you? Yeah, I don't know. But yeah, I'm not really I can't be blackmailed or something, or alter my behavior because I'm afraid of losing my job, which was actually a thing in my old job as well, where I would confront my boss during end of year reviews. That's probably classical ISTP. I didn't, and it wasn't to my disadvantage or so, I think, because I left in good terms, and they said whenever I wanted job again, a full-time job at the same place, I should call them. So yeah, but I don't mind confronting people when I have to, but that happens like twice a year.
So you don't do it often. It just
No.
Only when you need to, like absolutely.
I try to avoid it at all costs, but there comes a point where I would reject myself, not reject, what's the word? Where I would negate myself. Yeah. If I would ignore my inner world, there comes a point where I have to speak up, else I'm not true to myself, which is a very Ti thing. I have to be true to there are certain principles. If I stay quiet, then I have to pay the price, and I won't pay certain prices. So then I speak up. But yeah, it takes a lot, like the cat energy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you said that you traveled around the world for 1 year.
Yes.
Germans are known for us backpackers. So did you backpack then, or what did you do? Like, how did you travel around the world?
Define backpacking. It wasn't like I didn't have a backpack in that sense, but I traveled almost nonstop. So it was on average like a week in every place, because I had this idea of trading tennis on my travels. So I would courtsiding, it's called. So I won't go into detail, but I earned a bit of money while traveling alongside tennis tournaments. And because the big tennis tournaments were mostly in cities that I wanted to see anyway, I just traveled along the ATP and WTA tour and earned money and financed my travels like for a year, until I got thrown out because they don't like people betting on court, like next to courtside, like next to the court. So I did that for a year, and then
gambling.
You can say that. I like trading more, because gambling sounds a bit like there's a negative implication there, but yeah, it's gambling. Yeah.
No.
I mean trading, and there wasn't much risk really. But I couldn't do that anymore because I was thrown out of tournaments. So
I see.
and
The tribe threw you out.
yes, literally, yes. But it was great. I don't know. I might do it again if I don't know what the future brings. Feminine and I don't know. My plans are only a few months ahead. So now I'm focusing on this FE stuff first, build up the savings again, and then we'll see what I'll do next. At the moment I'm fine here, but who knows for how long.
When it comes to dating, do you find yourself dating EJs usually? Is that the ones that you feel attracted to?
The feed cut off. What did you say? I didn't hear you. There was like an internet blip.
What about right now? Can you hear me?
Yeah, now it's better.
Okay, I mean, yeah, like when it comes to dating, do you feel like you find yourself dating EJs usually? Like, are those the ones that you find yourself attracted to?
No, never.
Never.
That's the strange thing. Well, maybe I have to open myself up in that regard, but I was always drawn to IPs. It was always, well, also I think, I mean, they haven't been typed, but I asked a few of them, and it was almost exclusively INFPs.
Oh.
I mean, obviously that's my typing, so they're probably not all INFPs, but my current girlfriend, who is OP typed, thought she was an INFP. She's an ISTJ. But yeah, identifying heavily with FINE. And EJs always triggered me. I just had to withdraw quickly. I guess I only came across the unhealthy ones, because there sure are healthy EJs. It's probably also my own limitations, because I didn't want to face my demons. So yeah. Yeah, it was always IPs. Or so I think. I don't know if they really are IPs.
I think healthy EJs are amazing. Like I met one EJ. It's so rare to find a healthy EJ, but like I met one of them who found his TI, and my God, it's amazing. Like when people really discover their demon and embrace it, I think that person becomes like unstoppable, in my opinion.
Yeah, I notice now how I'm already like deep down. I really think, yeah, EJs, it's not for me, and I struggle to really voice that, because I feel like we shouldn't devalue a type. And yeah, it's like, but it's a subjective truth for me, and I'm not saying all EJs are unhealthy. It's probably a combination of also me and my demons. I don't know, but yeah, normally there should be some attraction even, which there never was. I don't know.
Yeah. Wouldn't it feel normal for you to feel attracted to EJs, because that's kind of like opposites attract, right? Like a feminine masculine EJ would be like your perfect attraction.
Yeah, I don't know. I think they are also rare. I don't know. I haven't seen. Well, the thing is, though, I probably haven't seen much because I'm an IP. I hide in my.
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly why you don't see them.
So, and in the work environment, there were no girls, because sports and analysis, we never had. It was only guys in the office.
Okay. Yeah.
Parties, yeah, I guess there were EJs there. Yeah. Yeah, I haven't met too many EJs in my life. I meet IPs mostly. IPs,
Yeah,
ISTJ.
where are you
Even
guys?
EPs, even EPs, yeah. On the traveling, yeah, you meet EPs. Of course, you meet EPs when you're traveling. Yeah, the EJs actually, I don't know if they are comfortable traveling. They are, they are double observers, but
They EJs don't travel alone. That's the thing. They're scared because I've like it like you can look at like OP and like it's so shocking how real it is because like I've interviewed a lot of EJs in real life and I asked them like I'm pretty blunt as a person, so like whenever I meet an EJ now I always look at them and I'm like, are you having an identity crisis? Like, I'm so blunt, right? Like, and they're like, how did you know? I'm like, yes, how did I know? But like, um, I told them, I'm like, because I met one EJ before who knows, he's an ENFJ and he has his TI, he has his truth, right? And the only way he discovered it is by riding his bicycle around the whole planet Earth by himself.
oh wow, that must be transformative for you.
Yeah, and like he said that his biggest fear his whole life was to be alone, like doing something alone. And ever since he came back from traveling around the world on a bicycle the diameter of planet Earth, he started a nonprofit organization right afterwards for people with mental health disorders. But he said the biggest thing that he missed was being alone after, and it was his biggest fear. His biggest fear became his biggest joy, and it's like shocking, but that's like one EJ. Like I've never met any other EJs like that. Like it's hard, right? I think it's harder for EJs, to be honest, because part of like self-growth is spending time by yourself, like to just figure things out yourself. And I think EPs, IJs, IPs, like that thing about being yourself, it's not as excruciatingly painful as an EJ. So I think there's a slight advantage. I don't think life is fair. I think when it comes to personal growth, I think certain types do have an advantage over other types.
Yeah, that's a good point. Yes, I'm just thinking of the Facebook group. So lots of IJs, lots of EPs. Yeah, we need to make we need to make a poll. I need the sensory evidence first before jumping to a conclusion. How many people are of what type? There are quite a few IPs as well. How many EJs?
I have sensory like stats. Like I've interviewed a lot of people, and I have trouble.
You're right.
I can't find any EJs. Like I've interviewed like maybe 3 EJs. Like that's so little. Like if I were to look at the proportion of IPs, IJs, and EPs I've typed, like they're relatively balanced. I would say. Obviously some more than the other, but the EJ there's a huge, there's like a missing gap there. There's a missing gap.
Yeah, there you go. So that's one data point already. Where are all the EJs? I guess while we are talking here, they are managing companies or something. I don't know. That's probably what I should do to transform myself. Tell 20 people what to do. Oh my God.
with your feminine blast.
When I thought I was an INTJ, so this year of traveling was also coming from me thinking I have to work on my SE, my fourth function. I'm just going out into the world. And it was great, but it wasn't as transformative as telling 20 people what to do, I guess. It was great, but it was more savior stuff then. And I actually thought it's more like working on my SE demon.
I think for you, Klaus, I think like if you really want to go boot camp, personal growth, I think you need to like start your own business and have like 10 employees, and then you have to manage those employees.
Yes.
Like that's that's the ultimate like test of like will for you,
Or do my job in the hotel, but not at night, but during the day. Oh my God. So many people I have to make happy, or keep happy.
Yeah. That like if you boot camp that, I think you'll be unstoppable, because then
Yeah. Yes.
It's like for me, right? Like my like SI and discipline and commitment, like those are all my enemies, right? Like so I need to work on that, like it took me so long to have a girlfriend because I didn't want to commit, it's like like I have commitment issues.
Yeah.
So I think we all need to dive into our demons.
Yes, the fourth function. That's still true for OP. even if it's double activated, that's the biggest demon, I think, for almost everyone. Yeah, it's certainly true for me. I feel fine with TI, NI, SE. Sometimes SE is even, a bit much, but that's probably the strong introversion, like noise and light. That's why I also prefer the night, but that's probably just the consume sleep savior stuff.
I have a few more questions for you before we wrap this up. So one of my questions,
Sure.
as a double observer, Dave and Shan said that double observers have problems with pain. So specifically for you, it's the pain that the tribe will give you. So let's talk about that a bit. Are you trying to avoid pain, especially tribe causing you pain?
Yes, although there's probably lots of unconscious stuff in there. When I did the tiger video, spoiler alert, if you don't want to know Tiger's type, then skip this part maybe, I don't know. But there was a lot of pain talk by him, and I could identify with that. Like I talked about that, the journey for me started with that painful breakup where I went really into depression mode. And it's like other people have the power to give me pain, and that's why I'm also like very cautious. And in that instance, it was like I was very cautious, and it still caused a lot of pain. And yes, and if you have like the pain fear coin, I'm not really scared of anything. Maybe bees, but apart from that, I'm not really scared of much. And pain is a big, like, since I was like 12, 13, I need like a half an hour to an hour every day to listen to sad music, which I think helped me with Demon F to just get connected to my feelings.
Yeah.
Because if I don't get that, then I really feel like something's off, but I have to just get into that pain not on a daily basis anymore, but if I don't listen to sad music after 3 days, I notice something, I really need to do that again. And
that's so interesting, because like as a double decider, I don't avoid pain. I actually like pain, actually. Like, I go to the gym, I like being sore. Sometimes like one of my best friends, or not best friend, but one of my good friends, he's an INTJ, and he loves being rejected by women. He loves the pain. Like, like he actually tell me, it's like, hey, we should go up and like, talk to women and get rejected. It's gonna be so cool. Like
that's the spirit.
Like getting really hurt. Like the worse the rejection, the better it is. I'm like, you're deranged, man. Like, what the hell's wrong with you? Like
what was his type?
He's an INTJ.
Oh.
Like,
okay. He's fine with that.
Yeah, he's an IJ. I'm EP, right? So like for me, pain, I'm cool with pain. I don't avoid it. But I'm scared of so many things. I have like fear issues, right? So, like so does like every IJ I've met have like fear problems, So like double deciders have fear.
Yes.
Double observers have like avoiding pain, right? So it's like, oh man, that's so fascinating. Like,
yes, I had this discussion like a day ago with an INTJ, a real INTJ, not like me.
Not a fake INTJ.
I was talking about so much about her fears, and wow, I was like, she just mentioned it all. Like it was 10 points, and for just a single day, and all the negative things that could potentially happen. And I have a demon, but I mean, I have it, but it's like once a week I worry about something, and then then life goes on. But the people stuff is more, it's harder.
Yeah, like I find that so fascinating for you guys, because like people stuff, like if you tell me to go speak in front of a big audience with no preparation, I'll be like, okay, no problem. Zero problem. Like, I don't even feel scared or a little bit nervous, but just a little bit. But like someone tells me I have to work for a company for 5 years, I'm so scared. Or like, like I'm always scared. There's something that I'm always afraid of. There's this, like, the fear is almost beside me all times. I'm always like so shocked whenever I meet IPs and EJs who are so fearless, like how are you not scared? Like I'm so scared all the time.
And that's why it's Dave mentioned that, like, it's so powerful to just look at the other, like, people who do it in a calm way, like, whatever, I might lose my job and then I find another one. That's life. And the double deciders go, breakup. Well, I'm sure some double deciders also go through bad breakups, but it's not like the end of the world. It's like, yeah.
Yeah, like I'll give you a concrete example. Like I travel a lot too, so I've been to 82 countries now, and
Oh wow.
when I was, but like I'm weird because people think I'm fearless, but I'm actually scared to death all the time.
Oh
You know,
wow.
and like
Wow, that sounds exhausting.
I know it's like, but like I feel like I need to go against the fear, right? Because otherwise I can't grow. So when I was traveling, I was in Africa and I was in Namibia. I met this one IP guy. He's Japanese. He's an INFP. Um, he keeps going to dangerous places with no fear. Like he went to Kinshasa in Democratic Republic of Congo.
Well, okay, I guess I okay, I probably would have some fear there as well.
Yeah, like he took local transportation all the time. He was in Johannesburg taking local buses. You know, Johannesburg is one of the most dangerous countries in cities in the world. I mean, he was in Central Africa. You know, he went to Central African Republic, Mali, Niger, and you know, he was like 30 kilometers away from Boko Haram. And I was like what? Like, I was like,
Okay, I wouldn't do that, but yeah, that's like, yeah, there's also the danger then of going too far.
yeah,
There's a famous German blogger who he has been to 130 countries, and he most recently went to, what's the country called? Somalia.
yeah,
That's another level, right? I
yeah.
mean, yeah, well,
Yeah, but then so when this guy did that, I was like, I have so number one, I have so much respect for him for having so much balls to do that. But number two, I'm like, how could you not be scared? Like he's saying it with so much happiness too. Like oh yeah, I went to this places. I'm like, you're not scared that someone's gonna kill you? Like, I mean, this is not like tribe hate. This is Boko Haram. Haram. You're gonna cut off your head, right? Because you're not Muslim, you know.
yeah,
You know, like
maybe a bit, yeah, sometimes then, yeah, well, I won't tell him what to do, of course, because I don't like that.
yeah, yeah.
Give me his number. I'm giving him a growth work. Hello, stop traveling to dangerous countries, man. No.
But he survived, you know. He's been to over 150 countries now, and he's okay. You know, so I don't know. All right, dude. So we're gonna wrap this up pretty soon. I'll just ask you a few rapid fire questions, and we're done. So,
Okay.
what kind of advice would you give someone who is a ISTP like you, have trouble with FE, to go work in an FE?
I'm the wrong person to give you advice, but
What's worked for you?
try and use your SE to get into FE. Like if you are good, as an ISTP, you are good at being in the moment, but you struggle with being in the moment with people. So try and just, when you sit at home, you are very comfortable in your own skin and just being spontaneous and immersing yourself in the moment. So try and use that with people, because SE can help you a lot in getting into FE.
Now, because you have Demon N, what have you done in your life that has helped you use your Demon N to help better your life?
Typology is a very end thing, and it helped me. Well, there's so much stuff you can't really know how it exactly helped you, but to me it helped greatly in making sense of people more and understanding that my perspective is not the only perspective in the world, and that sometimes you have to treat people differently than the way you want to be treated.
As a double observer with relative balance between control and chaos, or freedom and commitment, or anything in between, what kind of advice can you give double decider who absolutely is missing one of those two and they don't have balance with that?
That. Mm-hmm. Well, it depends on which one. So is it an OE dominant?
Okay, so
OI?
let's do both. So let's start with EPs. What would you give EPs who don't have control, or freak out with control and freak out over commitment?
You are still in control, even if I'm not an EP, but I would say sometimes I mean, I can empathize because I am SE savior. So
Right.
sometimes you just have to do things that narrow you down, but that doesn't mean that it's the end of the world, and you can still shape the situation. Like, for example, a relationship, even if, I mean, you can still try and shape it in the way you want to. You just have to, I mean, you can use your double decider functions to speak freely of what you want in life. And sometimes being scared of commitment actually makes things more complicated. So try and get that commitment, but try and shape it in a way that, yeah, it's probably hard because OI is last, but yeah, commitment doesn't mean less freedom necessarily. That reminds me of what Jocko said, like discipline is freedom. It sounds counterintuitive, but sometimes commitment is the biggest freedom. Like a good relationship can provide more freedom than being on your own.
Yeah, I can relate to that because I've been with my girlfriend for 6 years now, and
Wow.
because because of the commitment, and it's actually working really well. I have the freedom to work on other stuff in my life. I don't even worry about finding someone else to date because like I have a girlfriend, and it's a good relationship. So, what about IJs? What kind of advice would you give them?
Present moment. Try, well, it's so easy for me to say because I'm good at being in the moment, especially by myself, but the IJs worry too much about the future. So go on a Vipassana course for 10 days and don't speak a word and just be with yourself.
I mean, you're talking about INTJs though. So all IJs could be an ISTJ, ISFJ,
Okay. Yeah.
INFJ. So they fear chaos. They fear chaos. So what kind of advice would you give them?
I mean, go on a silent retreat for 10 days. It sounds horrible, but afterwards you will be a transformed person.
No, but chaos is their problem though. So like, something bad's gonna happen.
Yes. So yeah, you have to get to the present moment. Like an IST, yeah, okay, it might be different for ISTJs.
Exactly. That's what I mean. Yeah, exactly. They don't have SE, right? So
yeah. Well, I think, but that's probably me preaching SE. Like, go on a world trip, quit your job, ISTJ, quit your job and see what happens.
they'll get a heart attack.
I don't want to many traumatized ISTJs after my advice. But I have to tell people what to do. So quit your job.
I felt traumatized for the ISTJs after you said that, because like that's like
it's my growth journey to tell people what to do.
That's the truth, right? That's the truth. And then my last thing I'm going to ask you, because I know I just forced you to blast there right now, which is very stressful. I saw you guys.
Yeah, it's okay, I guess. Yeah.
Do you have any questions for me as an ENFP with functions that you don't have that maybe you want more clarifications about?
Yes, certainly. I have to think about it for a bit.
So I have NE, FI, T, and SI. Those are the ones.
I know.
Yeah.
What is so attractive in INTJs? Well, or is it even is it like, are the memes correct from your point of view? There's just like, say, ENFPs are attracted to INTJs, and I never knew where that came from. But when I thought I was an INTJ, and I still like I always ended up with INFPs, but ENFPs were also like, I really liked them, but I always got drawn to the introverted model. So I don't know. What are ENFPs attracted to?
Well, it's more tricky than that. So I think for like dating, I've always found INFJs more attractive actually. Like for females, like INFJs are the most attractive type for me. I don't think it's INTJ at all. Like I've only recalled a few times where I found an INTJ very attractive actually. But I find INTJs very attractive as a friend, or like even like someone that's potentially a network partner or a business partner, So I'm very attracted to INTJs in that sense, but not for like dating. For dating, I find INFJs more attractive actually.
Okay, yeah, that could be. Well, I guess INTJ females are rarer, but that's MBTI thinking, right?
But I've met a lot of them. Like the INTJs, the IJ just fall in front of me out of nowhere.
EPIJ.
It's like weird, right? Like even like I work in a fitness industry and I work as a personal trainer, right? And I'm always shocked how many INFJ and INTJ clients I end up with.
Oh yeah, SE aspiration, yeah.
Like, I mean,
And
like,
they need the advice. Like NEC Dom doesn't need a personal trainer probably, but the IJs they need it. I don't know.
well, IPs don't need personal trainers, you mean?
EPs, I don't know. Yeah.
No. Well, I've had EP clients too, and I've had all the clients. I've had INFPs before. You know, like my clients are always intuitives. By the way, it's kind of really weird. I've always been shocked. It wasn't until OP, like I understand, like when David Shan released OP, that I started getting sensory clients, because then I started learning how to communicate like them, and so I started getting clients like them, and I learned how to talk to them. But before that, most of my clients, like I would say 90% or 80% were intuitives. You know, it's so with a high degree of INFJs. It's really weird. It's I don't have any logical explanation for it. It just kind of fell in my lap. You know, so that's that.
Okay, I might come back with another question when the call is ended. Like that happens often to me. Last. I come in 5 minutes. There will be a great question for you as an ENFP, but then the call is over. But so be it. I will send it to you over chat.
Yeah, we could talk about it later. All right, Klaus, dude. You know what, Klaus? A lot of my one of my best friends is actually an ISTP, and I read somewhere that ISTP and ENFPs are actually good friends also. Like naturally as a friend. Like I said, one of my best friends growing up was an ISTP. Like my best friend wasn't not an INTJ. You know, my best friend was an ISTP growing up. And I have like weird friends. Like I have ISTP, ENFJ, you know, and INTP, right? So, but IPs are my favorite people. Like I'm so biased at this. Like I say it on all my interviews. I don't know if I piss off any EJs, but like.
Yeah, there are not many in the typology.
So they don't even see this.
Yeah, so no one will notice.
Yeah, I always tell people this, like, you know what, IPs are my favorite. Like, I'm not gonna lie.
Thomas, if you see this, you are exempt.
Yeah. All right, Klaus, thanks again for doing the interview.
Thank you.
All right.
It was great talking to you.
All right, I'm gonna go pause this, say goodbye to everyone, and
okay.